what's happening, gamers? Welcome back to Kamen Rider Tuesdays. Hashtag Rider Tuesdays. Woo! It's time for more Battride War Genesis here on the Nightwing 01 channel. Today's rider is fitting for Halloween. We're going to be looking at Kiva, the Vampire King, or King of Vampires, or, you know, King of Monsters. Whatever. Wataru. I think that's how you say his name. And,
King of the Vampires and the Monsters, yes. Or Wataru.
Well, basically, he's this character. It's like a Japanese telling of, you know, the Western monsters, Dracula, Gillman, or the Merman, the werewolf, and Frankenstein's monster. Mm-hmm. So it's kind of like a cool, you know, look into that. But Japanese style.
Yeah, you're right. I guess in Japan they have even more monsters than we do.
Oh, yeah.
So these are the big ones.
So we're going to be fighting Kamen Rider Hibiki. There's Kiva.
Yeah, and I've been watching Kiva a lot recently. Well, I mean, by a lot,
Well, you've like
probably only gotten through a few episodes.
You've watched like
six or seven. Maybe 6 or 7 episodes.
It's a very jarring show. I mean, Kiva, it kind of keeps up with that whole like time travel element a little bit that we had in Den-O, except it's going sporadic between the father and the son. So the father takes place in 1986, and Kiva, or Wataru, is that?
Yeah, Wataru. Yeah,
he's in 2008.
I always forget what his dad's name is, but
oh yeah, there we go. Basa, which is the merman.
Or Basha.
Basha, yeah.
Either Basha or Basa. Yep, merman form. So the different forms are basically his arms. As you can see, his color is changing on his arm there.
And it's kind of interesting. I still haven't figured out if they live inside of a castle. There's the werewolf.
Yeah, and those are the Fangire. The monsters that he uses. He uses monsters to fight the evil vampires, even though he is half vampire himself.
Yeah, that's a very interesting concept. I can never say the name of the werewolf, though. I don't know if it's Garlu or... And there's...
Garulu, Basha, and Doga.
Doga, yeah. Doga is basically the Frankenstein monster, so he has, like, electric powers and stuff like that. And I'm just
saying that because I wrote them down. And I'm
you have to. I mean, come on. We're Americans, so...
I mean, yeah, most people think, like, oh, how can you not remember when you watch the show? It's like, well, yeah... If it's a show like about Bob goes to the deli and gets a burger, like that's easy to remember. But since all these different things, all these different things that happen are all things that happen in Japan. They're Japanese inside jokes. They're Japanese culture, so it's just a little bit more difficult to remember.
All we can agree on is his transformations are cool. So these arm monsters basically don't like the vampires because they hunted down and destroyed the rest of the regular monsters.
Oh right, yeah.
So they actually helped. Kiva's father in the past, and somehow, I don't remember how it happens, but they end up getting, like, trapped inside of either the new baby, like Kiva's, you know, the father's, like, future son, or the powers that he was using, they get trapped inside of it.
Yeah, they're in some kind of weird house playing chess, and then they get summoned, and so it's interesting. But one thing that really got me into the show when I first started watching it is, like, just that he has different powers. Like, one of his powers can make the sky go red, and the moon comes out, and it's really cool. Like, it's just, if you like Castlevania or Van Helsing or something, then you're gonna kind of like this show.
Perfect for Halloween!
There are also some other vampire hunters. Like, there's this girl that his dad really liked in the past, and she was a really awesome vampire hunter. He ended up taking her weapon, and...
She kind of had, like, a whip, like a Belmont.
Yeah, she had a whip, and it was also, it could be used like a... I don't know if it's sword / stick.
Emperor!
Yeah, there's Emperor form, so he gets a cape with Emperor form.
Emperor form is basically Kiva's full powers unlocked. Like, the chains, I guess they're supposed to be like the chains of hell or something like that, that are restraining him from using Kiva's full powers.
Yeah, there are a couple. I mean, I think there are a couple different Emperor forms too. Like, there's default Emperor form, and then there are some others.
This would be default because he doesn't have the glowing, like the different monster arms and monster chest.
Right.
And his sword is like, you know, the king sword or whatever it's called.
Yeah, and then he has the Doga Baki form, which is all the monster forms into one. Which is, like all the different 3-arm forms.
Yeah, it gets confusing, but it's still pretty cool.
And, yeah, he also has, like, I think he has a dragon form where he can fly. And one thing I really like about the show is, I don't think they're showing it here, I don't know if you can see his little belt, but his little belt is like a little bat friend that talks to him when he's in his house or in the bathtub. He's in the bathtub a lot in the show because I guess he has to wash off the world because he's allergic to everything. And he starts out really weak and basically wimpy at the beginning, but I guess...
love how he was wearing like a mask.
Yeah, he starts out with a mask almost like for the first few episodes until the girl he likes, who I believe her name is Megumi. Wait, I can't remember her name.
Yeah, it's Megumi.
Yeah. She yells at him, is like, you shouldn't wear this mask, you know, you look stupid or whatever, and he's like, I'm allergic to the world, and he's like covering his face, like, don't take this off. She's very like, she's very pushy. She's like Amy and Sonic or whatever, I don't know. She's very pushy, and he likes her, but I guess, I don't know if he ends up with her in the end, but she's actually the daughter of someone from the past too. So she's the daughter of the guy. She's the daughter of the girl that his dad liked in the past. So of Yuri. So her mom is Yuri. So it's like the past. When you're watching the show, it is really confusing and jarring because.
I didn't really like that about the show, how they try to tell, like, a past narrative, and then they go into and they're literally flip-flopping every 5 minutes.
Yeah,
I
it's
did
just
not like that.
You watch 2 seconds of the show, and then it goes fling, and it flings you in the past, then it goes to the future, past, future. And at first, I thought that they were going to 2 different locations. I didn't even realize it was the past because I don't speak Japanese, and it doesn't translate everything. So I told Luke, I was like, I don't understand why they're showing this other guy and this other girl. And I was like, they look older, I don't understand. Yeah, Luke was looking it up and he was telling me, oh no, that's his dad from the past. It's like, oh my gosh. So.
And his dad was a violin player, so...
Yeah, so he actually has the violin that his dad made.
It's called the Bloody Rose.
Something very interesting, like you were telling me, Luke, is that, like, his dad really couldn't control the monsters very well because his dad was full human. But his dad didn't realize that the girl that he was with was a vampire, so that's why Kiva is half vampire. That's why Kiva is able to be
She was known as Queen of the Vampires. Her name was Maya, and that's much later on in the series, because in the beginning, his dad is like a womanizer, and he kind of falls for Megumi's mom, who is like think of her kind of like Sonia Belmont.
Yeah, I think her name is like Yuri, I think.
Yeah, her name's Yuri.
And she's really awesome, but yeah, she is like a Belmont, exactly. She's got a whip and everything.
Werewolf time!
There are several. Oh, there's also another vampire hunter in the show that wants to kill Kiva, but I haven't gotten too far in that.
Well, that's actually good because, I mean, the secondary riders are all in this. I think even Kiva Megumi's transformation is in this as DLC. She's actually a rider herself.
Oh, okay.
So, I mean, love interest / rider.
The reasons that you would want to watch this show is that there's a lot of violin music. Yeah, a lot of really cool forms. The Bat character is really cool. Just like in Kamen Rider Drive, he talks to his belt, and his belt is like his friend, and it's really fun. I love just like the different visual effects of like the sky turning red and the moon, and just I love the music is awesome, especially when he changes forms. Just seeing like this guy who's so weak and like afraid of the world because he's allergic to everything, becoming this tremendously strong character. He gets stronger every episode. His personality is really sweet. So
the first time that he transforms into Emperor, you can see the difference, like in Kiva's strength, because like when he's just in his regular mode, doing double rider kick, or at least trying to. Come on, double rider kick. Okay, there was no cool music behind that, but that kind of came out cool. But anyway, his Emperor mode, it's like a huge difference, and this is what I love about suit actors. Like when they, transform or they get a more powerful form, you can just feel it even though you can't see any facial emotions. It's all body language.
Yeah, they do a great job
So when
of
he
that.
transforms into Emperor the first time, you see the arm monsters like playing, I believe they're playing Uno or they're doing something different. They're always cursed to play a certain game, and if one of them wins, then some type of punishment happens to the losers.
Oh my god.
And they've been doing it for 20 years. So they're sitting there, all three of them, like the werewolf, the merman, and the Frankenstein monster, calmly playing. And all of a sudden, like, the table starts shaking like crazy inside the mansion, like something bizarre is going on. That's because in the real world, Mio got hurt by some type of monster. Kiva sees it and goes crazy, transforms into his regular mode, and, they're even like, whoa, something's coming. And then you see another type of bat creature bite or transform into Kiva, and that's how Emperor form starts. And when he's Emperor, he walks. He doesn't run, he doesn't act like, Wataru or whatever. He acts like this really powerful Kamen Rider character. The only comparison I can think of, those of you that remember Kamen Rider Black, when he would transform, and he would just, like, ooze this power in his walk and his presence, that's kind of what Kiva's like. And you saw some of that later in Kamen Rider Decade, too, when he would transform, he would just walk at people.
Yeah.
Just oozing confidence and power.
Yeah,
So.
and that's why another reason why he needs, like, he's so powerful. I think the more that the show goes on, there are other, like, I think there's actually a final form at the end and things like that, but yeah, like, that's part of his chains pop off when he becomes the Emperor.
The chains were placed on him by his mother and his father to kind of protect him from going too far.
Yeah, because he's so powerful that he's kind of like Superman. He can never really use he tries not to use his full power because it's so powerful. Yeah.
Well, I mean, there's another basis for it, too. Do you remember Castlevania Legacy of Darkness or Castlevania 64? There was this little kid who played the violin. His name was Malice. And he wasn't fully Dracula yet, but the more he used the powers, he became him. Since
right.
Kiva's essentially, Dracula.
Yeah, he is kind of like Dracula because he's the king of all the vampires
Right.
and the monsters, so...
If he goes too crazy and lets the power, like, overwhelm his human side, he can become evil like his father was.
Yeah, and so there are people that basically want to take him down, like even, among vampire hunters and stuff, and...
Well, they don't know that it's Wataru until
they
later.
don't know. Yeah, they don't know who he is.
And even then, it's kind of like they still try to take him down.
Yeah, because they don't, they think he's dangerous or something. Or,
Kiva is dangerous.
And he is dangerous.
I love werewolf form. Like, even in the game, notice how he changes too. He, like, runs like a wolf and stuff like that.
Yeah. The one thing that I thought was interesting about the show watching, though, that I thought was really funny, is that when I was watching because there was a time during the beginning of the show where he has to save violin players from
Just call them the
vampire.
vampires, yeah. It's hard to
Vampire
say, like,
monster.
Ferengi or Fang, whatever.
Fang, whatever. Yeah, so he has to save them from vampires, and I noticed that there were all these people playing violin. There were a lot of people playing violin in the show all the time, and I noticed that, like, all of them, you can tell they're not really playing because the bow is not moving at the same time as the music is going, and you can't switch bows in the middle of a note. Like, that's impossible if you really play the violin. So, and their fingers aren't moving, so it's just kind of funny. Like, I would be staring at it like, they're not really playing that. But for a violin player like myself, it was just, like, so jarring to see somebody pretending, but actually, Kiva gets better at it during the show of pretending to play the violin.
Ooh, yeah.
Good job! But
Not
yeah,
quite done yet. We have to find Hibiki.
the show has really great...
It's okay, keep
It has
going.
really great visuals and music, so I really recommend it. It's really cool.
What I like when he does his rider kick, he causes, like, rose petals to fall from the sky randomly, which was one of his mother's powers, and he causes, like, a solar eclipse to happen. Like, he can turn day to night just like that. And his leg actually becomes unwrapped when he does his rider kick. It's like, either it's the chains of humanity, or it's supposed to be like the chains of evil, like unwrapping.
Yeah.
Like, and, releasing a part of his personality that's dark, because he is half vampire. And that's why he has such a hard time, like, you know, out during the day and stuff like that, which he doesn't understand that for a very long time. And I'm trying to keep spoilers for a minimum because, I mean, while Kamen Rider Kiva isn't my favorite show from the Heisei era or whatever, it's still pretty well done, and the character appeared all the way up into Kamen Rider Double, or Wizard. Like, he's made numerous appearances, and the character becomes more like the King of the Vampires near the end of his series, and in Kamen Rider Decade, he's kind of like a mentor figure until the end. Like, he kind of gives Decade his powers and represents the other riders.
Yeah, I think I remember something like that, because I remember seeing Kiva before when we were talking about Kamen Rider. He was supposed to be really powerful, so... Yeah, this is his saber form, Gurulu Saber!
Werewolf, yep.
Yeah, and then the,
Last.
Yeah, I mean, he basically doesn't... He has, like... I don't know if he has that interesting, call-out lines. Doga Hammer, Bashan Magnum.
No, he doesn't. He's just kind of
and then he
looks
has,
cool.
When he does Emperor form, I think that's when he says Henshin.
Yeah, he just says Henshin. All right, double rider kick. Going down, Hibiki.
Oh, and when he transforms, the bat has to bite him on the hand, and then you see his face turn like vampire like.
Yeah, it's basically like a stained glass window type effect. It's pretty cool.
Yeah, it's very like Baroque, you know.
But his Emperor form is like so strong that there are times where he doesn't even use it all that. Like, he uses it more than his base form.
Yeah, and I think there is actually also like a Berserker type mode within the Emperor form. I don't know if it's...
Yeah, it's when he goes evil.
Where basically whoever is in his way, he's gonna basically take down.
Yeah, but that more or less is kind of like a spoiler-free version of Kamen Rider Kiva, if you guys want to check it out. There you can see the chains locking him back up, and they're all over his costume.
Lock him back up before he comes through the screen and comes at us, yeah.
And I was being assisted by Kamen Rider O's.
Oh!
At least I think that's how you say his name. And next time, I believe we're going to keep going with the Heisei characters, so I will do either Hibiki or O's. I haven't decided yet. All depends on what show I want to watch next.
Yay!
But anyway, I hope you guys have a safe and happy Halloween. Thank you so much for watching another Kamen Rider, #Rider Tuesdays. We really appreciate it. There's a lot of cool stuff going on the O1 channel right now. Batman Return to Arkham. If you guys, want to migrate from Kamen Rider to Batman, I do that. And I'll be back next week with another Kamen Rider. Thanks so much for taking the time to watch. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. And we'll see you next time. God bless and happy gaming.
See ya!